In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on March 16, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Atlanta Hawks versus Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are set to welcome the Atlanta Hawks to Barclays Center for their latest showdown. These two teams have faced off plenty of times, and recent history favors Brooklyn, as they've come out on top in 3 of the last 4 meetings. Not only did the Nets win those matchups, but they also managed to cover the spread each time, making them a solid bet when they've been able to take down the Hawks. Atlanta is dealing with some key absences for this game, with Clint Capela still sidelined and Caris LeVert carrying a questionable designation heading into the matchup. On the other side, the Nets have already confirmed that Trendon Watford, Nick Claxton, and Noah Clowney won't be available. When these two teams last clashed on November 23rd, it was the Hawks who came out on top in a closely contested 120-116 victory. Brooklyn has put up a fight in their last 3 outings, though they've ultimately fallen short in each, losing all 3 by narrow margins. Meanwhile, the Hawks are clicking right now and carrying solid momentum into this contest. Atlanta is also in a position to strengthen its lead in the Southwest Division, adding some extra motivation for this one. One of their biggest strengths this season has been their ability to get to the free throw line, ranking 2nd in the league in free throw attempts. That could be a significant advantage against Brooklyn, a team that commits fouls at one of the highest rates in the NBA. The Hawks have also been dominant on the offensive boards, which should give them a solid number of second chance opportunities, something the Nets might struggle to contain given their rebounding issues. With fewer than 20 games remaining in the regular season, the Hawks remain very much in the playoff hunt. The same can't really be said for Brooklyn, as their focus seems to be on reshaping their roster rather than making a push for the postseason. With that in mind, there's a clear motivation gap between these two teams. Atlanta boasts the 5th highest scoring offense in the league and will look to exploit a Brooklyn defense that ranks 27th in field goal percentage allowed and 26th in three-point defense. The Hawks should also be able to capitalize on their ability to attack the rim, especially against a Nets squad that ranks dead last in rebounding. Brooklyn continues to pile up losses, and at this point, they resemble a team that isn't too concerned about making the play-in tournament. The Hawks, on the other hand, have been playing some of their best basketball over the past couple of weeks and are steadily climbing in the standings. These two teams are clearly moving in opposite directions. Atlanta has also been covering the spread in 3 of their last 5 games. The line isn't too unreasonable here, and based on the way the Nets have been performing, it's hard to trust them to keep this one close. As our first pick for this matchup, the Atlanta Hawks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Hawks should be in control of the pace of this game, and that plays right into their strengths. Brooklyn is playing on the 2nd night of a back-to-back, which could lead to some fatigue, and they don't have the rebounding ability to slow the Hawks down. Atlanta likes to keep the tempo high, ranking 2nd in the NBA in pace, and they thrive in high-scoring matchups, sitting at 5th in the league in points per game. That offensive firepower has helped them hit the over in 6 of their last 10 games, and this one looks like another solid spot for a high-scoring affair. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Charlotte Hornets versus Los Angeles Clippers. Sunday night's matchup is set to bring some excitement as the two teams meet again at Intuit Dome. The Charlotte Hornets, currently sitting at 17-49 overall with a 34-32 record against the spread, are coming in with revenge on their minds after dropping their previous game against Los Angeles earlier in the season. On the other side, the Clippers, standing at 37-30 overall and boasting a 35-31-1 against the spread record, are looking to complete the season sweep. Los Angeles has thoroughly dominated this matchup in recent years, having not lost to Charlotte since November 2017. That's a streak spanning several seasons, and the Clippers will be eager to keep it intact. Charlotte will be heading into this contest at full strength, giving them their best shot at breaking their long losing streak against Los Angeles. Meanwhile, the Clippers have a minor concern in the form of Norman Powell's availability, as he remains questionable due to a lingering hamstring strain. This game marks the second and final meeting between these teams for the season. The first clash saw Los Angeles secure an 8-point victory, covering the spread as -13.5-point favorites on the road. Now, the Clippers return home after a solid 2-1 straight-up road trip, and they've been finding a strong rhythm on both ends of the court in recent weeks. One of the biggest factors in their improved play has been Kawhi Leonard's consistency. As Leonard has settled into a reliable role in the rotation, the team's performance has naturally followed suit. His presence has been even more crucial with Powell sidelined, as Los Angeles has needed all the offensive firepower they can get. Fortunately for the Clippers, they're up against a Charlotte team that struggles mightily on defense, making this a favorable matchup for them offensively. On the other end of the floor, the Hornets could find themselves in trouble against a Clippers defense that has held opponents to 110 points or fewer in 4 of their last 5 outings. Adding to Charlotte's woes, Los Angeles has absolutely owned this series, winning each of their last 10 meetings outright. The Clippers also hold a strong record against the spread in this matchup, going 5-4 against the spread in their last 9 games against the Hornets. Even more impressively, they have been dominant at home, hosting a league-best 22-10 against the spread record at Intuit Dome. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Clippers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. When these two teams met earlier this season, the game turned into a surprisingly high-scoring affair, with both sides combining for 218 total points. That easily cleared the 209-point total set for the game. For this upcoming matchup, the projected total has been bumped up slightly, despite both teams ranking in the bottom third of the NBA in overall scoring. However, recent trends suggest that this increase is justified. The Clippers have been lighting up the scoreboard, reaching at least 119 points in 4 of their last 6 games. Playing at home has also given their offense an extra boost, as they average 3 more points per game at Intuit Dome than they do on the road. Charlotte, on the other hand, is coming off an impressive offensive stretch of its own. The Hornets have managed to score at least 110 points in 4 of their last 6 outings, proving they can put up points when needed. Historically, games between these two squads have leaned toward the over, with 4 of their last 5 meetings surpassing the projected total. Given both teams' recent offensive performances and their previous matchups' high-scoring nature, another shootout could be on the horizon. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz versus Minnesota Timberwolves. On Sunday night, in the heart of Minnesota, often called the land of 10,000 lakes, the Timberwolves will welcome the Utah Jazz for a Western Conference showdown. Minnesota enters this matchup riding high with the longest active winning streak in their conference, while Utah is on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, stuck in the NBA's worst losing skid. The Jazz will once again be without John Collins, Jordan Clarkson, and Keon George, a trio of key players whose absences have severely weakened their roster. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves expect to be at full strength, giving them a significant edge. Utah's struggles have only intensified as they suffered their 8th straight loss in their last outing. Making matters worse, Clarkson, who was their top performer in that game, is now sidelined. On the other hand, Minnesota is clicking on all cylinders. With their entire squad back to full health, they have solidified themselves as one of the most dangerous teams in the conference. The Timberwolves have put together an impressive 7-game winning streak, and in that span, they have covered the spread in 5 of those matchups. Historically, they have also dominated Utah in recent meetings, winning 7 of the last 10 head-to-head contests. The Jazz, at this point, are more concerned with improving their lottery odds than chasing wins, evident in their miserable 1-9 record over their last 10 games. That being said, the Timberwolves have been known to get a little too comfortable in games they should dominate, and they did fall to the Jazz just a couple of weeks ago. However, when you take a look at Utah's injury report and their ongoing struggles, it's tough to see them putting up much resistance. Losing 9 of their last 10 games while missing multiple key players is simply too big of a hurdle. Minnesota, on the other hand, is fully healthy and playing some of their best basketball of the season. They have won 8 of their last 10 and are gaining momentum at the perfect time. As our first pick for this matchup, the Minnesota Timberwolves to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Even though both of these teams rank in the bottom 10 of the NBA in scoring this season, the recent trend suggests that high-scoring games have been the norm. In their last 10 contests, both squads have hit the over in 6 of those matchups. Utah, in particular, loves to push the pace. They currently rank 8th in the NBA in that category, but their defense has been a disaster. They rank 28th in the league in points allowed, making them one of the most generous teams when it comes to giving up buckets. The 2 previous meetings between these teams this season both surpassed the projected total. The Jazz are missing 3 of their top scoring threats due to injuries, yet they still managed to put up 118 points in their last game. That being said, their defensive woes have continued, as they have surrendered at least 122 points in each of their last 2 outings. With the Timberwolves' offense firing on all cylinders, they should have no trouble lighting up the scoreboard. Even with a depleted roster, Utah's younger players have been stepping up and finding ways to put points on the board. This game won't be an offensive explosion, but it should still be a relatively high-scoring affair. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Oklahoma City Thunder versus Milwaukee Bucks. The NBA action continues this Sunday with an exciting showdown between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Milwaukee Bucks. The season is in full swing, and both teams are looking to gain momentum as they push toward the playoffs. The Bucks are coming off a solid 126-119 victory over the Indiana Pacers, while the Thunder secured a hard-fought 113-107 win against the Detroit Pistons. This highly anticipated matchup is scheduled for March 16, 2025. At Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee and will be broadcast on ESPN. Oklahoma City enters this game with an impressive 55-12 record, including an outstanding 26-7 mark in road games. Meanwhile, Milwaukee has been strong at home, boasting a 38-28 overall record with a solid 23-11 record on their home floor. The Thunder dominated the Bucks in their previous meeting, winning convincingly by a score of 125-96 back in February. However, Milwaukee will be looking to turn the tables this time around, and with their home court advantage, the game could be a lot more competitive than the last encounter. Heading into this game, the Thunder are likely to be without key players Luguentz Dort, Jalen Williams, and Aaron Wiggins, which could impact their defensive depth. On the other hand, the Bucks appear to be at full strength, as they do not have a single player listed on the injury report. One major factor in this matchup is that both teams are playing on the second night of a back-to-back. This means fatigue could play a role, and it wouldn't be surprising if either team decides to rest a player right before tip-off. That said, Milwaukee has the advantage of not having to travel, and they'll be playing with a fully healthy squad. Oklahoma City, however, gets a boost with the return of Chet Holmgren, who was rested in their previous game and should be fresh for this one. Holmgren's presence will be crucial for the Thunder, especially when it comes to slowing down Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Thunder have been one of the best defensive teams in the league all season, leading the NBA with a defensive rating of 107 points allowed per 100 possessions. Over their last 5 games, they've recorded an impressive plus 10.1 possessions margin. They also lead the league in turnover percentage at 10.4% and defensive turnover percentage at 15.2%, which shows how well they disrupt opponents on both ends of the floor. The Bucks, on the other hand, rely heavily on their three-point shooting and Giannis' dominance in the paint. Milwaukee is one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league, knocking down 38.4% of their attempts from beyond the arc, ranking them second overall. However, Oklahoma City excels at defending the perimeter, holding opponents to just 33.5% shooting from three-point range, the best mark in the NBA. This could create a challenge for the Bucks if they struggle to find consistency from deep. At first glance, it would seem like the Bucks should have the edge at home, especially with both teams coming off back-to-back games. I considered that factor when analyzing this matchup. However, as I've pointed out before, the Thunder are not only winning games at a high rate, but they are also covering the spread better than any other team in the league. With a remarkable 42-22-4 record against the spread, Oklahoma City has been a bettor's dream this season. When a team consistently delivers for bettors, the smart move is to keep backing them until they prove otherwise. The Thunder have won 9 of their last 10 games and covered in 7 of their last 9. Additionally, they dominated Milwaukee by 29 points in their previous meeting, which adds further confidence in their ability to take care of business again. Given the circumstances, I have to lean toward the Thunder in this matchup, even with Jalen Williams likely out. Oklahoma City's depth gives them an edge over Milwaukee, especially on the second night of a back-to-back. As our first pick for this matchup, the Oklahoma City Thunder to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both Oklahoma City and Milwaukee play at a similar pace, averaging 99.8 possessions per 48 minutes, which ranks them tied for 9th in the league. While they are capable of pushing the tempo, both teams also have the ability to lock in defensively when needed. The Thunder, in particular, will make it a priority to contest Milwaukee's three-point shooters as they excel at perimeter defense. With Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein providing solid interior defense, the Thunder have the personnel to slow down Giannis in one-on-one situations, limiting his effectiveness in the paint. Oklahoma City doesn't rely on three-pointers as much as other teams, ranking 14th in three-point attempt rate and 10th in three-point three-point shooting percentage. Meanwhile, Milwaukee has been solid at defending the perimeter, ranking 9th in the league by holding opponents to 35.1% shooting from beyond the arc. With both teams having strong defensive capabilities and playing their second game in as many nights, this could result in a lower scoring affair. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.